Mildred's boots crunched against the dusty Lego street as she walked to the police station, her faded uniform clinging to her sweat-soaked skin. The morning sun burned fiercely, and her stomach growled, a sharp reminder of the empty pot waiting at home. In her pocket, 2,000 naira, her last for the day, barely enough for a meal. No savings, no backup. Just her notepad, and her duty. A faint voice stopped her. "I'm hungry. Please, even leftovers. I'm not asking for money." It was Frail, heavy with pain. Mildred turned. There, under a withered acacia tree, sat a man, gaunt, trembling, his tattered shirt barely covering his bony frame. His eyes were hollow, his hands clutching his stomach. Something in Mildred's heart tugged, refusing to let her walk on. She crouched beside him. "Wait here," she said softly. "I'll be back. I promise." His cracked lips parted, disbelief flickering in his gaze. "You'll come back," he whispered. "Yes," she nodded. "Just wait." She sprinted to a nearby buka, the aroma of jollof rice and fried plantain hitting her as she pushed through the crowd. "Rice, beans, plantain, and chicken," she told the vendor, handing over her 2,000 naira. "Add a sachet of water." Her heart raced as she grabbed the steaming takeaway pack and ran back, praying he hadn't moved. He was still there, slumped against the tree, eyes scanning the passers-by who ignored him. Mildred knelt and handed him the food. "This is for you. Eat." His hands trembled as he took the pack, his gaze shifting from the food to her face. Tears welled in his eyes. "I didn't think you'd come back," he said, voice breaking. "No one ever does." "I came back," Mildred said, her smile gentle. "Eat." He took a spoonful, and tears spilled down his weathered cheeks, not just from hunger, but from the warmth of someone caring. "You won't die in this uniform," he said, his voice steady despite his frailty. "God will reward you. Your story will change." Mildred wiped her eyes, stood, and said, "I have to get to work." She walked away, her pocket empty but her heart full. The man reached into his torn trousers, pulled out a worn notebook, and scribbled, "Policewoman. Gave me food. Gave me hope." He underlined it twice. At the station, Mildred arrived late, sweat staining her uniform. She sank into a creaky wooden chair, her stomach twisting with hunger. Officers bustled around, shouting orders, laughing, answering phones, but Mildred sat quietly, a faint smile on her lips. She had nothing left, but she'd done something right. She'd helped a man who couldn't help himself. Across town, under the same acacia tree, the man sat as the sun climbed higher. "I'm hungry," he called to the stream of people, market women, students, drivers, who passed without a glance. Some sneered, others muttered, "Lazy man, go work." None stopped. But he wasn't just a beggar anymore. He clutched his notebook, the policewoman's kindness warming him more than the sun. "One person stopped," he whispered. "Hope still lives." Weeks passed, and Mildred's heart grew heavy. The beggar was gone. She checked the street corner daily, her eyes lingering on the empty spot. She asked a nearby hawker, "The old man who sat here, where is he?" The boy shrugged. "He stopped coming, auntie. Maybe he died." The word pierced her. She hadn't asked his name, hadn't done more. Regret gnawed at her. Had her kindness been enough? Far from the dusty streets, in a sleek Lagos high-rise, a man sat in a leather chair, gazing over the city's twinkling skyline. Clean-shaven, dressed in a tailored suit, his polished shoes gleamed against the marble floor. This was Mr. K'd, a billionaire whose name opened doors, hotels, oil deals, political circles. Yet 4 years ago, he'd left it all behind, disguising himself as a beggar to test the world's heart. He sat on streets, hungry and ignored, to see who would care. Most didn't. But one did. That he opened a drawer and pulled out the same worn notebook. Policewoman. Gave me food. Gave me hope. The words stirred him. She gave without knowing who I was, he murmured. She gave because she cared. He called his assistant. Find a female officer named Mildred. No last name, no station. Just find her. Days later, a sleek black SUV rolled down the dusty street. Keode's eyes scanned the road until he saw her, Mildred, in her worn uniform, walking with the same steady steps. The car stopped. The window lowered. Madam, he called. Mildred turned, startled, seeing a well-dressed man in a car that didn't belong in her world. Do you know me? He asked. She studied his face, puzzled. I'm sorry, sir. I don't. His heart swelled. She didn't recognize him without the rags, the hunger. A long time ago, he said, you gave me something I'll never forget. You gave me food. Your last money. You didn't ask who I was. You just gave. Mildred's breath caught as the memory flooded back, the beggar, the rice, the notebook. You were him, she whispered. Keode stepped out, his polished shoes touching the same dust where he'd once begged. You gave me hope, he said. Hope that good people exist. He gestured to the car. Please, come with me. Stunned, Mildred followed. They drove to a towering building with Keode Holdings in gold letters. Guards saluted, staff bowed, and Mildred's heart pounded as they rode the elevator to a pristine office. Keode opened his notebook, showing her the words he'd written. Tears streamed down her face. I never forgot you, he said. That day, I was searching for light. I found it in you. He slid an envelope across the desk. Inside, a check for 500 million naira. And from today, he said, you'll receive 5 million naira monthly, no strings attached. You deserve it. Mildred sobbed, her hands shaking. I don't know what to say. I couldn't walk past. That's why you deserve this, he said. Keep being kind. And you're not alone anymore. Months later, Mildred's life transformed. With Keode's mentorship, she left the police force and founded Star Shield Security, a firm training elite guards for dignitaries and CEOs. Her name graced headlines, her story inspired schools, and her company grew into a global brand. One quiet morning, in her sleek office overlooking Lagos, Mildred sipped tea, gazing at the skyline. She thought of that dusty street, that plate of rice, that one act of kindness. Kindness changed my life, she whispered, a smile spreading across her face.